From the shadows of the underground to the center of the conversation. Tonight on the Underground Nation podcast, recorded live on TikTok, we welcome an artist whose voice doesn't just sing, it reveals. A singer, a songwriter, a storyteller shaped by emotion, experience, and unapologetic truth. Her sound blends soul, R&B, and raw vulnerability, creating music that feels less like entertainment and more like confession. She doesn't chase trends. She creates moments. She doesn't hide behind the music. She becomes it. Underground Nation, prepare for a real conversation with a real artist. Please welcome Heather Riffel, your host with the ghost, Bounce Ball Boogie. This is the Underground Nation podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen of the underworld, lock in. Tonight we welcome an artist whose voice cuts through smoke, shadow, and silence. She's a singer, songwriter, and emotional architect blending soul, R&B, grit, and vulnerability into music that feels lived in, not manufactured. Her sound carries beauty, pain, confidence, and truth, sometimes all in the same breath. From raw originals to haunting reinterpretations, she's built her art by feeling fearless with her feelings and honest with her scars. Underground Nation, tap in and lean forward because this is not just a performance, this is a conversation. So please welcome to the Underground Nation podcast, Miss Heather Riffel.
You got that in there.
Look at that, got the extra claps going, that's what's up. Right on. Yo, so I came across your page like a week or so ago. When did you realize music wasn't just something you loved, but something you needed to do? Because I could definitely see there's passion behind everything you're doing with your music.
Yeah, well, honestly, it started at a young age. Okay, when I was in second grade, I taught myself how to sing, and it became like my therapy from dealing with just like a really hard childhood. So I would just like spend time in my room and just like sing songs to calm myself down. And then that just became like what I've always dreamed of doing. Like I've always had a dream of being like a pop star, and like, I don't know, it just made sense. Like I would try other things, but the only thing I cared about in school was like the arts and the music and creating. And so then when I went through like a really tough breakup, I just learned how to like pour in all my emotions through like journaling and writing and spoken word.
Right.
Because most of my middle college became like a very big on spoken word. And so that's kind of like where I understood, oh, I might have something that like, this might be something that I can do. And so now we're here.
Yeah, that's what's up. So you kind of like, just kind of fell into it, just kind of looking for an outlet.
Yeah, and I've just been doing it ever since. Stefano, what's up?
Just looking for an outlet. That's what's up. When I listen to your music, I mean, your voice carries emotion before lyrics even land. How much of that is instinct versus intention?
Maybe it just comes out. It's weird because when I sing, I don't really feel that, but I think it's hard. I'm learning. Well, I don't know, like, to me, like, I'm always feeling like maybe I can add more emotion, but I guess it just comes out naturally.
Yeah, so, I guess so. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, because to me, I really feel like I could add more. And so when, like, I'm singing, like, performing live, I really feel connected when I'm closing my eyes and singing, because then it feels like it's for me.
Right.
So maybe that's where it comes from.
Right. So then from starting at a place where it was kind of like an outlet or a place to kind of free your thoughts from like journaling, like you said, today, do you see your music more as therapy, storytelling, or just rebellion?
I would say therapy. There's a lot. Like it depends on the mood that I'm feeling. Like if you listen to my songs from start to finish on like the dates of when it first got released to now, it's kind of like my diary. Everything I put out is just what I'm feeling in the moment usually. And so, it's just, I would say mostly it's emotion based. It's like release, heartache, but I'm trying to tap into less woe is me and more like, okay, we got this.
Right. So sharing your personal growth then.
Yeah.
How do you feel that your personal growth has changed? Like the way you write compared to earlier work?
Hi, Sasha. Sorry, you said, how does my personal growth change from...
Yeah, you were saying you were kind of like sharing your personal growth, but how do you feel your personal growth has changed the way you write today compared to your earlier work?
Sorry, by the way. Hi, Sasha. Appreciate you for the heart me. Sorry, people are coming in. This is my first time doing an interview on here, so I'm like, okay, I gotta engage, but also engage with you. I think now I'm learning to just put out music that I'm really proud of. I think before I was just working on so much stuff. It became released, and then I started just like, because I got picked up from a manager company when I first started during COVID.
Okay, what's up?
Yeah, at the time, I'm independent now, but like I was learning how to work with producers and like put out music videos and like mix and master songs, stuff that I didn't really know how to do on my own. And then I became kind of chasing this wheel, which I feel like a lot of people do as musicians. They'll chase this hamster wheel of like, gotta get a song out, gotta get a hit song out, da 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 da. And so you're constantly like putting out song after song after song. And sometimes it doesn't become, like usually when you put out a song, it's like your baby, you know what I mean? You're taking good care of it, you're releasing it, there's a lot of love and attention with it. But when you're constantly just chasing that hamster wheel, I don't feel like you're really focusing on like what's really special to you. So now I'm just being very picky on what I'm releasing, and I'm making sure every single thing I release, I'm super proud of and I want to stand by. That is like better than me. Because I used to work on like 2 albums at a time, and I'm like, what am I doing?
At a time?
Yeah, at a time. I was working on like 16 songs.
Oh my gosh.
And so I felt like everything was like, half, I don't know if I can cuss on here, but like half booty, you know what I mean? Giving half of how it could be. So my last song I released, I feel like I really put my all into it. So yeah.
So by putting your all into it, can you walk us through like what your creative process is, or where does a song usually begin for you?
Yeah, so there's oh my goodness. Okay, so just responding to some comments here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, guys, if you guys can share out the live for me, it would be amazing, because it's kind of hard for me to share out the live while I'm also answering questions. So that would be amazing if you guys feel obliged to do so. But I think with me starting out songs now, it depends. Like sometimes a melody will come in my head and I'll just like write to it, or I might just write a poem first and then just try it that way. Or maybe I'll look on YouTube and just find like a beat I'm really vibing with and just flow. So it kind of depends on how I'm feeling. Lately, it's just been like, oh, I like this melody I'm hearing. And I'll write a few things here and then I'll write a few things there. And then eventually I'll just wake up one day, which is weird because I'll get songs coming to me at the weirdest times. Like I'll be in the elevator and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And it won't leave my mind until I put it out on something. So like I'll voice memo it and then I'll just come back to it later on and then it'll all come together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. With doing that, has there ever been a song like you were scared to release?
Love got you twisted, tied up in knots, or just bored? Couples, singles, situationships. If you've ever screamed, "I'm done," then cuddled 5 minutes later, this one's for you. Call or text 720-303-2033 to leave your anonymous confession. We won't tell, unless it's good.
This isn't your grandma's podcast, unless she's still freaky.
We're popping the cork on modern love, and it might get messy. Like, don't tell my mama, messy. Call or text 720-303-2033 and be part of the love bubble, because love gets weird.
Okay, so I would say Broken Vase was my most vulnerablest song ever, because let me get my charger out. My phone's about to die. I know. We were running around Mall of America today. It was crazy.
I've never been there.
First time, and there was roller coasters in the mall. I've never seen anything like that ever.
Did you get to ride one?
No, I was with my friend who's singing with me in the showcase. We're getting her an outfit. But yeah, I wanted to. But, I don't want to be the only like older person on the roller coaster.
Oh man, come on.
It is a great mall, Joe. It's it's very popular. Apparently like 500,000 people will come during Black Friday. Yeah, and like the Prince of Dubai will come and like rent out the whole mall just to shop there.
The Prince of Dubai?
Yeah.
Dang, there must be some cool shit in there. I mean, cool stuff in there.
Well, so I would say Broken Vase was the most vulnerable song I released, because it was like me talking about losing my virginity. And I'm not going to lie, like, I feel like it was very unrelatable when I was writing it, because I grew up in like a very conservative Christian household. And like, I used to like want to wait for my first kiss and like every single experience. And then when I went through that experience, I like wrote about it. And to me, it was like the most vulnerable song I wrote, because I feel like my identity was revolving that. And when that didn't exist, I felt like I didn't know who I was. So I wrote out how I felt to just like release, you know what I mean? And so when I put it out, I wasn't sure how people would relate to it, but apparently people did, which was nice, because, yeah. So that was like...
For sure.
Yeah.
So what overall, what's been harder through your journey of developing your sound and music? Is it more finding your sound or protecting it?
I think the most important thing is finding your sound, because I think there's different ways that I feel musicians will express themselves. They'll usually either express just by themselves alone and not put out music and just work until they feel like they're ready, or they'll release kind of like how I did, like during 2020, I put out my first song, and even though it's my most biggest song, I think vocally I could have sung that so much better. I was off timing, but everyone is obsessed with that song. So I feel like I'm growing with like my supporters by putting myself out there. So yeah, I think that there's different ways, but I definitely feel like you're always discovering who you are, because you put out a song. So I'm trying to explain this in the way it makes sense, but like in the moments that you're in, you'll put out music, and that's who you were. And then maybe a year from now, you're not that person anymore. So you're always changing and evolving. So I feel like you're always chasing like that new version of who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming from the Christian-based household you mentioned, is your family supportive on your evolution?
Oh, well, my mom, she definitely has a little bit of a hard time with my tattoos and piercings, but she is still very supportive. She's always like watching my videos in the morning and stuff. And, I'm still a Christian. I'm just not like how I used to be, I would say. I think it was giving a lot more culty vibes than, relationship.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So you're kind of on your own path at the moment.
Yeah, like I believe in God, and I'm working on my walk with God. I just feel like I'm now, I don't know, I'm just like learning that it's a personal connection than always like what the church kind of will showcase. Because sometimes I think you can get lost into that instead of understanding it's your personal relationship. Kind of like very spiritual in a sense,
Yeah, absolutely. So working with management and now being independent, has how can I say this? Has the business side of music ever conflicted with your artistic integrity?
There was a time that it definitely did, but I think it was more so like being assigned to someone. I feel like there was a lot of like in this company I was in, it was very like sing different, put out a hit song. It was a lot of controlling like the way that they wanted me to go. You know what I mean? And I feel I learned when you want something so bad, people take advantage of that. So you have to really know yourself as an artist, or else you'll get sucked into things where people will be like, oh yeah, you want this? Like, I'll give it to you, but you got to do this. You got to give me this. You got to pay this. And that's kind of what I was in. Until I had to take a step back and be like, you know what, I'm doing this because I love it. And if I get sucked into, making a hit song or being controlled to go this way and that way, I'm never going to be true to who I am. And so that's kind of what I was dealing with. And then
so it was almost like, has like vulnerability ever been, was like being mistaken for weakness?
Oh, for sure. When you're a musician, you have to kind of have not really like a two-face mentality, but more so like a mask. Like I think when you approach other musicians or like managers or labels, you have to really like, that's why I get Mariah Carey. She gives diva, but she is one, but two, like people respect her and they're not gonna mess with her. But if you come off too nice or too friendly, you get taken advantage of, you know what I mean? Or people see that you want this so bad, like they will use that, So it's just really I'm not two-faced. I'm trying to tell you that you have to just know who you are. And that's the one thing. Because if you don't know who you are as an artist, you'll get sucked into like all the bad stuff that people be doing,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
During that time, did you feel it was almost affecting your sound and it was going toward the direction you were not comfortable with? And you had to kind of get control of that?
I'm grateful for the experience I was in, but I definitely feel like they had no really real opinion on my music. It was just more so like sing different, and I feel like it was kind of a little bit of a shady situation. I'm not going to lie. Hey, Slick, how's it going? Yeah, but I think I'll say if, you know what I'm saying? Like they never really had an opinion on my music. It was more just like sing different. It wasn't like watering me as an artist, but I am grateful though. Like I do take that situation still, as good as it was, because I learned how to like work with producers and like write with people. And like I said, do all the production stuff, but just as an artist, I don't feel like they really poured into me being like, oh, that's a good song, or we can change this or that. It was never that. So
Gotcha.
I just always felt very insecure with them. And then I think when I left, I really had to tap in and be like, you know what? I can't sound like anyone else. I don't want to sing different. SZA sings in cursive and people love her. So why do I have to sing and enunciate the whole time? You know what I mean? So,
That's right. You can be yourself. Be exactly who you are. And don't bow down to anyone's advice if you don't want to take it. Shoot.
exactly.
Shoot. This is Heather's world. We just live in it. So what do you think your music says about who you are right now?
I think my music says about who I am now is, like I said, I'm just like writing about experiences that make sense to me, like whether it be relationships or, you know, like I write songs about my mom, my brother, well, just like family. I like to write about like childhood trauma because I think that's something that people don't really talk about. So when I put out Wilt Away, that was like one of my most like really intense songs of like writing about my own personal life. But I just feel like what you see is what you get, you know what I mean? So, you know, my last song was about unrequited love. I feel like I find myself into those situations a lot. And, you know, I'm a lover girl. So navigating life in this generation where it's all about, you know, hookup culture, it's different, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yo, Underground Nation, you already know what time it is. You're with your host with the Ghosts, Bounce Ball Boogie, and we're about to dive into something real raw and straight from the heart. This next artist isn't just making music, she's telling stories you feel. Emotional, powerful. Right now, you're about to hear Heather Riffel with her track He Loves Me Not. A song about love, confusion, and that moment when you realize the truth hurts, but it also sets you free. Turn it up, let it play, and ask yourself, have you ever been there? This is Heather Riffel. He Loves Me Not, right here on Underground Nation.
La, 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 la. La, la, la. My friends think I'm crazy, don't know the half. He told me he loved me, I believed in that. All your actions lately, just like the past. You love me, you hate me, no time for that. I crawl back, I do. Ooh, I don't know why, I still try. I run back to you. I gotta fly, I pull it by the pedal. He loves me not. I could never settle, I could never go for that. If you show me love, I'ma show it back. He loves me, he loves me not. He loves me, he loves me not. He gave me all he's got. He hates me, he breaks my heart. How do I know that this is real? And you're not here just for thrills. How can I trust you with my soul? He loves me not, he loves me not. Whoa. Your actions ain't showing much. Lately you ain't been showing up. You tell me your love is real, but baby I've seen your blood. How do I know that this is real? And you're not here just for thrills. How can I trust you with my soul? He loves me not, he loves me not. I gotta fly, I pull it by the pedal. He loves me not. I could never say.
When you make those songs that are kind of family based around trauma, did your family take notice and did they respond in any kind of way? Did it spark conversations that should have may have been overdue?
There was a lot of like tears, and you know, it's hard because my family's weird. Like we've gone through a lot together, but we don't talk about it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, we know the elephant in the room, but we're just gonna like, okay, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
And we'll have those moments where, okay, the song comes out, oh my goodness, this made me cry, like, but like, it's just understood. You watch the the music video, you listen to the song, you understand, and it's like, we keep it pushing. And I wish my family was more vocal about it, but it's hard. It's hard to go there when like you have more of like avoidant family members. But that's just how they process trauma, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if someone only heard one song to understand Heather Riffel, which one should it be and why?
Oh, that's hard. Thinking.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you asked me this, Bono, no. Batman, I don't know what that. Do we have the same comments?
I think so.
Oh, okay. So, also, is Mike still in here? I can't tell.
Yes, Mike was wanting to ask if you ever consider developing another genre of music or a different style.
Oh, okay. It's hard to tell because for some reason, whenever I do the co-hosting, I never know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, two things. I think, one, if you would have asked me this in like 2020, I would have gone with Wham because I think I was very like, oh, woe is me, and like very victim mentality, just like, like everything's happening. That's so terrible. And like, oh, what is life? Like I was very, hi Gianna, I was very depressed. I think I've always related to The Real Me by Heather Riffel because I just think it really embodies like me just being tired of just dealing with just the BS I've been dealing with for over the past 2 years. You know, I feel like like I said, you know, 2020 to now, it was me really understanding to like let go of being so naive. And like, that's why when I put out He Loves Me Not music video, I look back and I'm like, oh, this is such an old music video because I don't even relate to that girl anymore. But I understand who she is because she was just so naive and full of life and like unsure, but like thinking she could do this. And, you know, now I'm like, okay, I am who I am. And like, I'm enjoying it. And, you know, yeah. So The Real Me is just like feeling yourself and just embodying femininity. And I think that's important. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. With that energy, how do you want listeners to feel after your music ends?
I think there's a few things. Like, I want them to for sure feel confident. And my whole reason why I do music is just to have people that are like the underdogs, the misfits.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I achieve my dreams. Like I've had people that have told me, you know, you've inspired me to put myself out there. Like I'm really anxious. I'm really depressed. But like you encourage me to like just pursue what I've always wanted to pursue. And that's kind of my goal with this is like, I feel like I'm not really that orthodox artist and I just kind of did it. Yeah. And it's honestly therapy for me. And I just want people to find creative outlets to heal and release. And that's just kind of what I've been doing. So that's kind of the goal for everyone else. Thank you for all my...
Yeah, absolutely. That's pure love and devotion right there.
Yeah, and there's like days where you just want to give up. I'm not gonna lie. Like 2 weeks ago, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this music thing, and I go through periods of that. But it's hard, you know. Sometimes you're like, what am I doing this for? You know, that just hi Enigma. Thank you for the heart me. Thank you Taylor for the heart me. Appreciate you guys.
And how did you answer that when you questioned yourself a couple weeks ago?
You know, I really am grateful for my friends. One of them being Mike in here, he definitely was like, yo, like, you really have the talent. Like, you got to just keep on pushing. I just feel like when people pour into me, when I'm at my lowest, it helps because it really can get to you. You know, you're doing something that isn't really appreciated by the world, but is always needed. Like, you go in your car and you listen to the radio, you listen to music, you're watching movies, you hear music. Like, thank you, Dream. Yeah, you're literally, music is life, literally. You're always surrounded by music, but it gets so like downplayed and people look down upon it like, oh, what about a real job? You know what I mean? It's always like the starving artist mentality. And so you're really just trying to push through those barriers and be like, well, I love this, you know, and just continuing as much as you can. But sometimes you'll just be like, what am I doing? You know, because it is hard. In this recession, in this life, listen, you know, it's not cut out for artists, but we're trying. Yeah,
absolutely. Especially when an artist gets put on the right direction and they're growing an audience and they could work with companies and help with that advertising and gain sponsorships. That's an open lane for a lot of artists right now.
If you're an artist or in a band that could use some extra exposure, look no further than Underground Nation magazine. They have everything you need to get some extra eyes on your project. Get started on your custom marketing campaign, spanning web, social, and print today. Visit underground-nation.com. That's underground-nation.com for more info. Underground Nation, the #1 trusted source for underground music news.
grants. I just learned about grants recently, and that's something I feel like we need to tell people. Like, listen, if you're an artist and you're trying to do something, apply for grants, because that is a way that you can get, funds for what you love. You just got to showcase what you're going to do with the funds.
That's right. Which means you got to learn how to put together a good proposal.
Yeah. That's important.
So Heather, for the artists and creatives listening who feel unseen, discouraged, or maybe they just feel stuck, what advice would you give them to keep going without losing themselves?
I would say, thank you, Stefano. I would just say stay true to who you are, because I think when you look at people not in a comparison mindset, because honestly, I'm going to be real with y'all, like that is where I do falter and that's what will make me spiral into like, what am I doing? Yeah. We're all on our own journeys. I feel like what I always have to remember to myself is like, when you're doing music, the journey is the most important thing than the destination. You see how people get it quick, right? And how it's taken away. Like, you don't know when you're not going to have it anymore. And so I think when you get things so quickly, like, you can lose it. But if you're, in my opinion, I think when you have a longer journey, I think the longevity is longer, one, but two, you learn so much. Because if I got signed years ago, I don't know where I would be. I probably would have been down like maybe a more Amy Winehouse type of road, you know what I mean? And that would have been really unfortunate. And I think now I have more wisdom where I'm like, I'm not gonna just sacrifice myself to get, a record deal. Like, you can do things independently. It is harder, but you have more creative control and you can just at your own pace do your thing. It's supposed to be because you love it, you know what I mean? Don't get lost, okay? Listen, don't get lost within the groupies and the ice, okay? And like all the fame, it's not that stuff's cool.
Yes, women deal with groupies too. There's male groupies out there.
Don't get lost.
Trust me, they out there.
It's the art. It's the art. That is why I feel like the people that do it for the art, that's where it really matters. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Very well said. Very well said. Heather, are there anything that we may have forgot to promote? Shout outs, thank yous. Please take this time to shine.
Thank you. Well, I just want to say thank you for having me on this interview. I'm definitely learning to be more interview-like. I don't know the word. Like, I'm awkward. Okay, guys, I'm very socially awkward. I am trying to put myself out there more.
Really? I wouldn't even guess if you didn't say that.
Really? I'm just...
Thank you.
Thank you. But, I just want to say thank you to all of y'all. Hi, JV. What's up? Just for supporting me. You know what I mean? Like, you guys don't have to hop on my live and, like, hang out or say hi or also, like, gifting me things. I appreciate it, And so I'm very grateful for all of you, because I will say, weirdly enough, TikTok has freaking dubstep songs we used to do. But yeah, it's just been nice to have your guys' support. But I would say, like, TikTok has definitely in ways changed my life for the better, because I came out of like a really bad, like, hardship relationship last year, and it was really tough to put myself back in music. And being on TikTok, I slowly was able to like regain the confidence in myself.
Yeah. Fall in love with yourself, and I'm so glad that you are.
Trust me, because you gotta just do it for you. Like, the most love that you're searching for, I feel like, is within you. I think God in you. You know what I mean? Because I personally think you need to have something to live for, but also be really in love with who you are, because people will come and sometimes people will see your light and they'll want to take it away, and you have to be worried. Just be prepared for the vultures, okay? So you just got to come in there and focus on you and God, and you will go far. You know what I mean?
That's right. As far as you can imagine.
They say hi. Yeah, exactly.
Not just envision, imagine. Sky's the limit, baby.
Shine bright. Yep, Gianna.
Whoop to that. Underground Nation, if this conversation moved you, challenged you, or made you feel something, that's the power of real art. So make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe to Heather Riffel here on TikTok, social, and streaming platforms. Support the artists who tell the truth. And don't forget to tap in with us over at underground-nation.com for everything moving and shaking in the underworld. And be on the lookout for the new issue of Underground Nation magazine dropping next week for Christmas, coming straight to your world from the underworld. I'm your host with the ghost, Bounce Ball Boogie. And until next time, stay loud, stay real, and stay underground.
And that wraps today's conversation on the Underground Nation podcast. A special thank you to Heather Riffel for sharing her story, her truth, and her voice with us. An incredible artist, an authentic soul, and a powerful presence in the underground. If you felt that conversation, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to Heather Riffel on all social and streaming platforms. Support real artists doing real work. And don't forget to tap in with us at underground-nation.com, where we're launching a whole new platform designed to connect our subscribers directly to you, the artist. This is a new era, new voices, new opportunities. It's never been a better time to be part of the Underground Nation. We'll see you next time in the shadows.